Okay, these hate mongers have been coming after children for a long time. Sexual harassment at 6 years old. Little boy is being accused of sexual harassment. And when I put it on, I think there's two stories because this is a mixed race boy here, and they blur him out. And this child's white. So these are two cases of a 6-year-old boy being accused of sexual harassment. We all know that children don't know what sex is at 6. And so we know what's going on. Now we'll get this couple first.
Had absolutely no idea that anything had happened or that anything was wrong.
Sean Robertson and Flavia Perea were stunned when their first grade son was accused of inappropriately touching a girl in his class in November of 2019. By the time
inappropriate touching just means the boy touched a girl and someone didn't like it. There's nothing sexual there. The schools have been, the education system is entirely taken over by feminism, and they hate little boys. And this is what you get when you let hate mongers take over institutions. So this mixed race little boy, you may as well have had the KKK take over. It'd been the same thing because they're both hate groups.
Time they were notified, the school had already alerted police who filed a report, which is now sealed.
Can you imagine the police actually put a case on this? When the institutions include the legal system. If I was a police officer and I said the boy is 6, okay, I should put you away for wasting my time.
The dean of students called me on the phone. She said that he had touched another little girl and that they were required to report all incidents of sexual harassment.
Whether that's an excuse, this is not sexual harassment, and they know it. So it wasn't that they're hiding behind this idea that they're required. They're not required to do this at all. They want to do this. The people in charge of the schools hate little boys, period. I'm not exaggerating or hyperbole in any way.
And she used the term sexual harassment twice.
It's important to distinguish between a child being, sexually curious, but it's not sexual in the sense of an adult sexual interaction.
They say their son just
really. So what did he do? There's no details here. So I doubt he did anything.
6 years old at the time, had no history of behavioral or discipline.
Yeah, he is. These are two separate boys, two separate 6-year-old children. These are babies.
Disciplinary issues at school.
But we've actually had several conversations with him about what's appropriate, what isn't appropriate, like any parent would. It's heartbreaking to.
Now this guy's getting upset, but guess what? It's always the same thing. They're only upset when it happens to their child. Where are all the other parents that hear this? And why aren't they going to a PTA meeting and talking to other parents? They might be for all I know, but I don't think so. You know why? Because the other parents have a feeling they want it this way. You think I'm exaggerating or not? Because if they didn't want this way, there'd be a rally between parents in general.
Speaking as a Black man.
Okay, sorry. You, sir, even though I feel sympathy for you, you're trying to make something that's about sex into race. They do it every time. And the problem is this other situation is a little white boy. So it's not about race. And people know it anyway.
To send my son.
You can't defend your son when you derail the issue to race. He's not being attacked because of his race, and we know it. How many little Black girls are being charged with sexual harassment? Not.
Our son to a place where I think he is safe.
Under Massachusetts state law, children under the age of 12 cannot be charged with a crime. But his parents are concerned their son now has a permanent record on file with DCF and Somerville police.
Well, that's the purpose of it. It's to destroy his future. You see, since the record is there, it's like a time bomb. He can't be charged with anything when he's 12, but as soon as he's 13, he can be. He's still a little boy at 13 and 14, but they can still get him. That's the whole purpose of this.
I want his record expunged. That should not exist. Unfortunately, when school personnel often look at a black and brown boy, they don't see.
She's doing it too. This has nothing to do with race, ma'am, please.
A little kid. They don't see a child behaving like a child. They immediately.
Yes, they do. They understand perfectly. This has nothing to do with it. They see a little boy who they hate touching his betters, and they don't like that. And so they're purposely doing this. They do see this boy as a little boy. They see him as male.
Pathologized what had happened. They assumed the worst. They criminalized his behavior.
Somerville Public Schools says they can't comment on specific student matters, but released a statement saying in part, our teachers and staff have and are expected to follow all necessary reporting procedures.
This was not a necessary reporting procedure at all. See, they're hiding behind requirements. This is not required whatsoever.
And obligations is required by all relevant agencies and authorities, adding, our district and our school committee are also fully committed to continuing the deep equity work that we have been in.
This is political bullshit right here. It's meaningless what they're saying here. Anything else I need to hear anything from this?
Their son's record and his name. Antoinette Antonio, WCVB News Center 5.
They're attacking a baby as far as I'm concerned. Okay, now here's another one. And these people talking are going to get you just as riled. Let's get this up. Max this out here.
Is learning a little bit of math. One Colorado boy is at home suspended for sexual harassment. You heard that?
Yeah, he's another one. So this is common occurrence now. And look at this sweet little boy who they are demonizing.
Right. Yeah. He kissed a female classmate on the hand and cheek, and the school suspended Hunter Yelton for sexual harassment. They use these words, and that's important here.
So this one is just as important, but for my video, even more so, because we actually got the details. He kissed her in the hand and the cheek, which makes parents go, ah, you know, oh, that's so cute. So this is how vile these people are that are in charge of the school system. We need to boot the hate mongers, the feminists, out of our institutions.
And they put the offense on the school record. So joining us now to talk about this, Kelly Wallace, CNN's digital correspondent and editor-at-large. She's also...
In a way, I'm glad he's only 6 because he has no idea just how bad it is. This boy was 9 or 10. He had become depressed. They're out to destroy this harmless child.
Our parenting expert.
Oh, by the way, in a typical all-female panel pretty well. One guy to throw in there just to... whatever he's there for.
There's a lot to talk about here.
What do you think, Kelly?
Well, I mean, outrageous.
There's not a lot to talk about. It's very simple conversation. These hate mongers are after children. We got to stop them. That's what should be said.
Right? And it's not just something I feel. Lots of people are talking about it online because, number one, not only do people think he kissed the girl on the hand, that he's suspended for that, but sexual harassment. We're talking about a 6-year-old. The mom is saying her son is now asking, Mommy, what is sex? You know, what kind of conversations does that lead to? And what impact does this have on this little boy?
I think it's important.
So your big worry is the boy might prematurely get an understanding about what sex is, like a sex lecture? How about the fact that he's being charged as a criminal when he isn't one? And he's a little boy. How about that?
Words here that are so much the issue. We don't always know the entire backstories here.
Right.
I think he's done something before.
I don't know all the backstory. He's a 6-year-old boy who kissed a girl in the hand. Okay, now I see what this guy's here for.
There may be behavioral issues. They may have a reason to discipline the child, but to use the words sexual harassment.
They They already admitted you just kissed her on the cheek and the hand, so there's no reason. So why are you talking like this? We know why. The media is also, feminist indoctrined. So you get the media, you get the legal system, and you get the education system. Do you guys not realize we need an MRM?
I know. I think a couple of things. I think in these stories, we need to hear more. We haven't really heard a ton from the school. The school superintendent is saying that the behavior fits the school's description of sexual harassment.
No. Like, if that's their description, let me ask of these people: are any little girls being put away for this? None. Right. So if a little girl kisses a little boy in the cheek, they're not going to do this to her. So this is horseshit.
In the category of unwanted touching. We've had these conversations on your show before. Yes. These stories where it seems like schools are trying to have a very rigid sense of the rules, and that goes against common sense. And that kind of feels like this.
No. It goes perfectly with common sense. They hate little boys, and they're out to get them, these harmless boys. And so what they're doing makes common sense to me. It's just that these cretins here, I'm sorry, but these people are angering me. They don't want to admit what's going on.
Story here.
Because a little bit schools are between a rock and a hard place, right? I mean,
no, they aren't. They're not forced to behave like this whatsoever.
they truly are trying to do their best. They try to put.
No, they're not. These hate mongers are trying to do their worst, and they're succeeding because people like you want it this way, or at the very least, you're willing to let them do it.
Rules and policies in place, but it's the kind of the rigid nature of it that seems to be where
this panel here is enabling their behavior.
outrageous.
Exactly. They have to, balance kid safety. They have rules, and then
Shut up. Balance kids. So she's making excuses. How is this little boy kissing this little girl endangering her? See, it's always the same speak.
Some people are following the rules. If other people don't, they have zero tolerance policies when it comes to bullying and other things. But I think in this case,
what does that got to do with this situation? Who got bullied? None. So shut up.
We're talking about sexual harassment. It's a very big term, and they're now saying it's on his record, and that's what the mom is fighting to try and remove that.
In a situation like this,
again, it's the same thing. They put it on a permanent record. What you shouldn't have, you can't have, or at least you couldn't have, a record as a minor. And they've changed the rules to get little boys. It's the idea when he goes, his life is over, because once you get a criminal record, it hurts your employment and hurts your social circles. That's its purpose. They're out to destroy this baby.
how do you think they should have handled it?
I mean, as John was mentioning, the boy does have some issues, right? He was suspended before for roughhousing. He was suspended before for kissing the same girl on the cheek. We should note the mom says the girl's fine with it. They consider themselves.
So the mom's fine with it. The little girl's fine with it. That's right. So him being suspended before doesn't mean anything. And he was suspended for roughhousing. In other words, the boys were playing. And we all know by now, this has been talked about for at least 10 years, if not 20, that they're criminalizing little boy behavior.
Boyfriend, girlfriend. Right. So it seems like the boy, and he was so cute in the story in the affiliate. He said, I'm a 6-year-old. I have, a lot of energy. I'm trying to work on it. Right.
So, did he actually say I'm trying to work on it as a little boy? You think this woman's on his side? These people are disgusting.
Trying to do my best.
So parenting expert, help me out here. I've been at this almost 7 years, and I still need the help. I too have.
So you're a parent, and you're just not enraged by this? Okay, your children are in trouble if they're boys.
I have 2 6-year-old boys, as a matter of fact. What do you now tell this boy when he's asking the questions, Mommy, what is this sexual harassment thing?
I mean, I think 6 is too young to really explain what sexual harassment is and what sex.
Besides, why would you explain anything? Because this isn't about sexual harassment. Sexual harassment didn't happen. What you should be explaining is that people are out to get you because you were born male. That's what is going on here. This is really riling me up, everyone. They're attacking children, these scumbags.
I think probably what the mom is trying to do is say, you know, we're working with the school. You didn't do anything wrong.
I want to spit on his mother. She's working with the school. So she's begging. She's saying, you know, she actually enables this then. His mother agrees with the school. She just doesn't want her little boy to be ruined altogether. But she agrees. That's what's going on here. If she's working with them. I spit on her.
We obviously have to behave in class and we have to do and respect others and have that kind of conversation. But it seems a pretty loaded conversation to have with a 6-year-old about what sexual harassment really
You
is.
said you didn't do anything wrong. Again, is there a difference between the term sexual harassment here and then maybe a kid who, you know, is in other kids' space when he shouldn't be?
Yes, it is. Because some people said, you know, if someone kissed my daughter and my daughter didn't want that person to kiss them on the cheek, they would be upset. I think it's a...
Really, then those people are scumbags too, because they're little children. And also, these same scumbags said their daughter. Notice they don't say my son. If a little girl kissed my son, I'd get upset. They don't say that. So this is all about this little person being male.
A sense of respecting other people's space and really trying to not invade their space.
Well, this is bullshit too, because the girl didn't care. So all this is adults attacking a child because of the sex of the child. That's what this is about.
Really touching in any way that might be, you know, kind of unwelcome by someone else. Again, very hard for a 6-year-old to understand.
And on that note, given the fact that he's only 6 years old, who do you think should have jurisdiction over something like this between the school and the parent?
What a stupid question. Oh my God, they're actually taking this seriously. No, well, they should be taking it seriously, but they should be outraged at what's happening to this child.
Exactly. I mean, it seems like, you know, the boy has had some issues. The mom concedes that he probably should.
Really? So kissing this girl on the hand and the cheek is issues? Okay, I totally hate this person now. These women are making excuses for what's happening there because they see men as subhumans. That's why they see males as subhumans.
Should have some discussions at home. He probably could have some counseling.
Why would a child have counseling over something that is not criminal? He didn't do anything wrong. You lowlife. You bloody lowlife.
Just does seem a little harsh that this is on the boy's record.
A little harsh? Oh my God. I'm just getting so riled up hearing this.
And some psychologists have been talking online today saying, is this going to impact the boy in any way? Is he going to feel like...
Is that going to impact him? You're calling a baby a criminal for doing nothing. How is it not going to impact him? And it's these guys, these boys get the message no matter what you lowlifes try to derail with. They know it's about their gender. He'll know that he is spit on because he is a boy.
He did something really, really wrong. When I have a 6-year-old and a 7-year-old, you know, I'm sure they...
Oh, you have a 6-year-old, 7-year-old. Oh, great. These people have children. You should not be allowed to give birth, considering the attitude you have towards little boys.
Around with other boys and girls in the class. They're already talking about who they're going to marry. I mean, it's innocent
when
stuff.
I was in kindergarten, we'd chase each other around and see who kissed each other.
I can only imagine you in kindergarten.
She was afraid of me. No, they loved you. That is true.
Kelly, you often get some very good conversations online when you take these questions online. Have you gotten reaction yet?
A little bit, and you know, from on CNN's New Day post, we've been getting a lot of people saying, you know, this is outrageous. The boy is sick.
Thank you. Thank you for admitting that, because it is outrageous. And they're the right ones. They're the ones in the right. They've got the right framing for this issue.
6 years old. One person commented that he was in a Christian school when he was 6, and he kissed a girl, and he had to write on the board, "I will not kiss girls. I will not kiss girls." And that was his punishment, and that was a Christian school. So he says, hello.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. All people hate men. They hate males, and they hate them when they're tiny, obviously.
I think
Where's
there's a
Mel?
lot of questions are being raised, and again, we really need to hear
There
more.
are no questions to be raised. Other than the question is, how come you people are the ones in charge? We shouldn't be seeing people like you on screen. These women are actually happy this is the way it is. That's why they're so blasé. I won't even talk about this loser here. Oh my God. You know, it's funny. This got on my nerves here, this poor little boy, but the way they talk really, really has pissed me off. What a bunch of lowlives. I want you people to know that. You are lowlives. Totally disgusted with my society. Goodbye, everyone.